You can't coach the uncoachable, and turnovers turnovers are a weird thing because part of you feels like you need to emphasize it, getting better at it, and I don't know if you could emphasize it much more than we have this year, just because that's what plagued us last year. At times we played about as bad, meaning we had, I think we had 4 offsides penalties, and things like that, and that's unacceptable. That falls on us as coaches, and we had a long conversation about that. You can't do those types of things over and over and over again. We turned the ball over as many times as we did. We had, 2 block kicks, a missed field goal, things of that nature. There were some things that went really, really wrong the other night, and then all of a sudden you turn around, and if we convert the 2-point conversion at the end of the game, it's a tie ball game. We're going into overtime again, with that crew. So, it's like I said, there were a lot of corrections that need to be made, a lot of things that are easily corrected, but at the same time, a lot of positives coming off of last week, moving into this next week. Defensively, they do one thing particular. And I'm not going to say it out loud because I may give them a hand to them a little bit, but they do one thing particular that makes your run game very tough with what you're going to do. It can take you out of some of your run game, just schematically what you want to do, because it's just going to get plugged up. They do a good job of getting everything out to the edges. You can't get downhill on them, and you can't run straight ahead. They do a very good job of plugging it up and then bouncing everything, spilling everything to the outside players. And then offensively, they're big. Now, SEMO, when they walk out on the field, they're a big, good-looking football team, and they can overpower you at the line of scrimmage if you're not careful. If your guys aren't gap sound and playing with leverage, they can overpower you. That was one thing about them at Missouri. They're especially on the defensive front. Their D-line, they gave Missouri's offensive line fits. If you look at that game, I don't know how many sacks they had, but, they got to Maddie Mock. Matter of fact, they made Missouri take Maddie Mock out of the game because they were putting some hits on him and so on and so forth. So I think just from a talent level, they're going to be one of the most talented football teams that we play, just size-wise and length, the way that they run. They got somebody on a kid, big, tall, lanky, number 57 on defense. That guy, he can run like the wind. So I think that's the biggest thing that they pose, is just from a talent level. To me, I think they're very above average when it comes to talent.